unplug from the digital world to help you concentrate. Try to create your own narratives. Try to drown out the noise from a digital world. Hyper focus on our own tasks, because I think that we are being overloaded with information on a daily basis. And I think it's imperative for us to focus on ourselves and focus on trying to be our best selves.
Never play to the gallery, I think. But you never learn that until much later on, I think. But never work for other people at what you do. Always remember that the reason that you initially started working was that there was something inside yourself that you felt that if you could manifest it in some way, you would understand more about yourself and how you coexist with the rest of society. And I think it's terribly dangerous for an artist to fulfill other people's expectations. I think they generally produce their worst work when they do that. And if the other thing I would say is that if you feel safe in the area that you're working in, you're not working in the right area. Always go a little further into the water than you feel you're capable of being in. Go a little bit out of your depth. And when you don't feel that your feet are quite touching the bottom, you're just about in the right place to do something exciting.
We aim to ignite critical thinking with an objective perspective on issues that affect marginalized Americans. I wanted to take a time out to give you guys some information that is along the same lines of protecting your peace as well as practicing mindfulness. I am hoping that this information can help you with your daily activities and how you process information. How I came about this information was by accident, but I'm very appreciative that everything took place the way it did.
But that said, if you start to pay attention to how much attention we pay to anything, you begin to notice that the mind is all over the place. It never sits still. It's got this idea and that opinion and this reaction, and we spend a huge amount of time planning and worrying about the future, and a huge amount of time reminiscing about the past and who did what to whom, or why it worked out this way, or why it didn't work out this way. And the present moment, which is the only time that we're ever alive in, the only time we could learn anything, express any kind of love or emotion, the only time we could be in our own body, the only time we can see or hear or smell or taste or touch or communicate, is now. And yet the present moment gets completely squeezed out by all of our preoccupation with the future and the past. When we start to pay attention to our own mind and our own body, it's like reclaiming your life. Mindfulness is not a technique, although there are many, many different ways to cultivate mindfulness. It's actually a way of being.
Jon Kabat-Zinn, PhD, an internationally known scientist, writer, and meditation teacher, engaged in bringing mindfulness into the mainstream of medicine and society. About 3 weeks ago, on a Friday, I dropped my phone and shattered the screen. I couldn't access my contacts, answer the phone, log on to social media, listen to music, or play games on my phone.
Nobel Prize winner Herbert Simon wrote, very prescient, he said, "Information consumes attention. Hence, a wealth of information creates a poverty of attention." I think we've entered a time when we're in danger of attentional impoverishment. And the signs of it are more than, a couple looking in their phone instead of into each other's eyes. The other day I saw a mom holding a little toddler, and the toddler's trying to get her attention and she's busy texting. She's just not available. And, of course, dad's the same story.
Daniel Goleman, PhD, psychologist, and author of the book Focus, The Hidden Driver of Excellence. My main focuses are my family, my business, and renovating my family's new house. The idea of trying to manage my daily tasks without my phone was just stunning. Saturday morning, I was phoneless think about it. You don't have your phone. You can't log on to social media. Just listen to music. All those things were going on my Saturday. And also, I had to go and cut hair. And mind you, as a barber, my business is pretty much run through my phone. I can access my schedule through my phone. I have a remote control that allows me to lock and unlock my door for my barbershop through my phone. And I also generally play music through my phone on a Bluetooth speaker at my barbershop. So I had access to none of those things. I had to go on my iMac to check my schedule and find out when and who was coming in that day, so I could run downstairs and manually unlock the door for my guests. I just felt extremely unprepared in the beginning of my day for not having my phone. And I noticed how quickly the feeling of being unprepared washed away after the arrival of my first client. My good friend Sharif, shout out to my homie Sharif, he was my first client of the day. We were engaged in an amazing conversation. You know, there's no music playing. We're just engaged in intimate conversation. It was amazing. And I was hyper focused on his haircut. My haircuts are always good. You know, my IG is Showcase001. You can check my work there. They're always good, but this was different. I was super hyper focused on this haircut and this conversation. And I noticed that throughout the day, I just had these amazing conversations and also these amazing cuts. I was just purely focused. When I closed my doors for the barbershop, I felt fulfilled and accomplished.
Recently, there was an article in the Harvard Business Review called The Human Moment. It said, if you want to have real connection with someone, and if they come into your office, remember this: turn away from your screen, ignore your phone and every other device, stop your daydream or whatever's on your mind, and pay full attention to the person in front of you. I find it sad that we have to have an article in the Harvard Business Review to tell us something like that. But it has come to this.
Daniel Goleman, the author of the book, Focus, the Hidden Driver of Excellence. I headed home. When I got home, I paid special attention to my kids as soon as I walk in. And this is after a long day's work. I usually want time to unplug. But this time was different. We sat, I made them a quick snack. I played video games with my kids. We actually bonded and had a really, good time. When we all had our fill, that's when I went upstairs. And I talked to my wife, and we had a dispute of maybe a day before. And so this time around, I basically addressed what was on my mind with my wife. I told her about my insecurities. I'm not as focused as I used to be, and I'm not as organized as I used to be, and I'm not generating as much income as I used to be. And when I expressed that to my wife, she gave me her own personal critique. And receiving this critique was similar to a workout. It takes a tremendous level of patience and courage to take someone's critique, to really accept it and embrace it, which I did. I use it as a tool for my own personal development. And after this conversation, my wife and I, we just connected. We always connect. We always handle disputes. We always talk our way through, but this was different. It was a higher level of attention that I was giving my wife, really listening to how I can help develop myself, right? And be the ultimate team player, which I always am in a household, but this is different. This is me being very intentional about trying to be an ultimate team player. I was really trying my hardest to fit in more perfectly into my team, which is my family. So getting the critique that I received was, for me, amazing.
The ingredients of rapport are three. The first is full mutual attention. From that full attention comes a second ingredient. It's a nonverbal synchrony. If you look at two people who are really in rapport, really connecting, if you were to make a video of that and watch it in silence, the two bodies look as though they're choreographed. This is something that's managed by a category of brain cell called oscillators. Oscillators govern how we respond to someone else, how we respond to physical objects. Oscillators are very important for the survival of the human species. Consider this. At the moment of a first kiss, they determine the velocity at which two skulls come together. And if they get it wrong, it would be the end of the, the species, I'm sure. The third ingredient, after the full attention and the nonverbal synchrony, is that it feels good. It's a rather pleasant, joyous state to connect with someone that well. These are the moments in our lives that are the richest, that really matter.
Daniel Goleman, the author of the book Focus, The Hidden Driver of Excellence. This was Saturday, so Sunday morning, my wife and I went to our provider to get me a new phone. And the sales associate told me that a new phone wouldn't arrive until Thursday. It had to be shipped out. There were no more phones on the actual site. I'm doing my own home renovations. And so my mind was fixed and locked on Monday, because Monday I would have to go to my new house and do my home renovations. So my family, we purchased a new house, and for the first time I'm doing my own renovations. I'm sheetrocking the house. I'm demoing, plastering lath out of the house, creating open concepts in this house. And just the idea of working on my new home with no music, no entertainment, no YouTube to help me troubleshoot any type of issues I might encounter was just, I dreaded it. And I almost was about to quit before even starting, and just waiting until I got a new phone before even going to work on a new house. Anyway, I just did it. I went to the house. As soon as I got into the house, by myself, I decided to do a quick assessment of what I would like to accomplish. I was hell-bent on making my day short today because I had no music, again, no phone, no technology to help entertain me throughout this grueling work I would have to do. So my first task was to complete the clean out of half of a wall I had demoed. From the second floor to the third floor of this house, there's a staircase, and it's narrow. These pre-World War II homes, the idea of open concept did not exist. These builders wanted to create a wall wherever possible. So my wife noticed that the corridor was pretty narrow, so basically I demoed it out. I started demoing this wall leading up to the staircase, and to create an open concept up the staircase and give us more space, even to move furniture up. And I started last Wednesday, because I work on the house on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But I didn't clean it out. So today I was going to clean out that demo the remaining half of the wall, and clean that out as well, which I did. And I was going to call it a day after cleaning out the demo, but I decided to go further. So I'm on the third floor of the house. All of my drywall sheets are on the first floor. So I went to the first floor and I carried 5 boards of sheetrock from the first floor to the third floor. I was about to quit, and I thought to myself, my ancestors slaved over property and items they never owned. I can slave over property and items I own. So I actually went downstairs and brought up an additional 7 boards of sheetrock. And I didn't stop there. I actually went and hung my sheetrock on the ceiling of the 3rd floor back room. And after that, I went into the front room of the 3rd floor and then hung more sheetrock. And by that time, it's around 4 o'clock and I have to call it quits because it gets dark around 4 o'clock and I have to leave. So I actually packed up, cleaned up, plugged in all my tools for recharging so I could go and do more work the next day. And I realized I did way more work without my phone. I wasn't distracted. I was focused.
Attention is a rarer and rarer commodity, but it's a very precious commodity. I think the time has come for us to take an active stand in our lives and fight back against this subtle onslaught. I know a couple, for example, who, when they come home, have a pact that they'll put their phones in a drawer. They won't look at them for the evening. There's a new way of getting together. I don't know if this has happened here in the UK, but in the States, for example, when people get together for dinner, everybody takes their phone out, puts it in the middle of the table, and the first person that reaches for their phone before the bill comes has to pay the bill.
Daniel Goleman, the author of the book, Focus, the Hidden Driver of Excellence. I started a bit of a social experiment. I wanted to see how focused I'd be without my phone on working on the house and how much more productive I'd be without my phone. So I did exactly that. And I just was being very intentional about not trying to have music on the site, just listening to my own thoughts while working on this house. And I thought it was an amazing task. And I want to discuss my experience with unplugging from the noise of social media, texting, video games, and YouTube. I basically want to discuss the benefits of focusing.
Attention is a mental muscle. It's like going to the gym. If you go to the gym and you lift weights, every time you do a repetition, you strengthen the muscle that you're working. Attention can be strengthened in the same way. In fact, I think I'll show you how, if you're interested. It'll just take 2 minutes. All you have to do is sit straight up, close your eyes, and bring your attention to your breath. Don't try to control your breath. Just watch your breath, observe it. Try to sense it coming in and out, maybe at your nostrils. And watch every breath, the full in breath, the full out breath. Start over again with the next breath. And just start again with the next breath. Be fully aware of the sensation. And if you find that your mind is somewhere else, bring it back again and gently restart. Now you can open your eyes. Did anybody notice their mind wandering? Did anybody bring it back? That's the rep. Actually, the exercise is not keeping your mind focused. The exercise is when it wanders, bringing it back. That's what strengthens the connectivity in the attentional circuitry.
Daniel Goleman, the author of the book, Focus, the Hidden Driver of Excellence. When was the last time you truly listened to your own thoughts? How does it feel to listen to your own thoughts if you have taken the time to listen to your own thoughts for an extended period of time? And I ask these questions because I have seen a tremendous amount of productivity by literally listening to my own thoughts and this paying attention on purpose, being mindful. Prime example, this week I went to work on my house. I have my phone now, and this is a new phone, and this is after the new year, right? So I took a week break off of the house in celebration of the new year. So now Monday arrives and I go to the house, and this time is different. I'm always in the do phase where I'm trying to lay sheetrock, and I'm just trying to do the task, trying to get the task done. I'm not meticulously thinking about how to do it the most efficient way possible. But this time around, I noticed that I was measuring where I had to put sheetrock, measuring 3 or 4 times before making any cut. And the process was so efficient. It looked very professional, and it was a reflex. What I believe happened was I was able to process all the information that I had been receiving by working on my home, by taking a break, and I applied what I had learned.
I've been talking about focusing as though it were the only valuable kind of attention. But actually, mind wandering, which is the enemy of focusing, the term they use in brain science is they are anti-correlated. If your mind is wandering, by definition, you're not focusing, and vice versa. Mind wandering is absolutely essential for creative insight. The creative process demands that, first of all, you gather information, you focus on the problem, you really concentrate, and then you let go. The annals of science and mathematics are full of people who came up with incredible solutions when they're just daydreaming, in the shower, getting on a bus, walking your dog. And that's because during mind wandering, we're able to make connections between remote elements in a new way that has value. That's the definition of a creative act. Of course, if you're going to execute, if you're going to put the idea to use, then you have to go back into focus. But mind wandering is extremely valuable.
And I was in a flow of things. I was in a hyper-focused mode. And I was flowing throughout this project. I got so much done this week.
And the highest performance is when attention is absolutely 100%, maybe 110%. It's been called flow. Flow was discovered, for those of you who don't know about it, by researchers who asked people in many different domains of expertise, basketball players, ballerinas, neurosurgeons, tell us about a time you outdid yourself. You were absolutely at your best. Even you were surprised. And no matter what the domain was, people were describing the same phenomenological state. And one of the characteristics of the state is that attention is utterly absorbed. There was a neurosurgeon who said, I had to do a surgery, an operation that I didn't really know if I could. It was so difficult, but I did it superbly. I was really surprised myself. At the end of the surgery, I looked around and I saw some rubble in the corner of the operating theater. I said, "What happened?" They said, "While you were operating, the roof caved in over there, and you didn't notice." It's that kind of attention. It's unbreakable. It's also a state where your skills are called upon at the utmost, and whatever the demand is, you can meet it. You're very flexible, very adaptable. And very tellingly, it's a state that feels good.
Just unplugging from my device for a few hours a day really allowed me to put things in perspective faster than I would have had I had my phone. I actually picked up a book by Daniel Goldman called Focus. And it's an amazing book. I picked it up yesterday because I really wanted to understand what I am doing for the sake of paying attention on purpose. And what I've learned is reading. I read a lot. Reading has proven to increase your focus, attention span, concentration, and to improve memory. It's done wonders for me. So I encourage you to pick up a book and just read it, and hopefully that helps increase your focus level or your attention span. I also listen to audiobooks. So the book I picked up yesterday, Focus, is an audiobook. Compared to reading, listening to audiobooks can help us attach deeper meaning to phrases. When you're reading a book, a lot of focus is placed on filling in gaps, voices, sounds, settings, and more. In other words, listening to audiobooks enables the mind to comprehend at a faster speed. You don't have to fill in the blanks. Consume the information, and later on, process it or even apply it faster. The third bit of information I wanted to give you was exercise. Exercising regularly is one of the easiest and most efficient ways to reduce symptoms of ADHD and improve concentration, motivation, memory, and mood.
Then there's other focus, which is being able to read people, being able to tune in to a person. There are three kinds of empathy, and this is empathy I'm talking about. The first is cognitive. Cognitive empathy means I understand how you think about things, your mental models, how you see the world. What that means is I'm able to communicate with you in terms you really understand, you really resonate with. Managers, leaders who are able to talk to other people with good cognitive empathy are able to get better than expected performance out of people because they know how to mobilize them, they know what matters. Then there's emotional empathy. Emotional empathy is an immediate felt sense of what's going on in the other person. And this is absolutely essential too. If you only have cognitive empathy and you don't have emotional empathy, you'll miss the mark. The third kind of empathy is very important too. It's empathic concern. Not only do I know how you think and how you feel, but if there's something you need and I can help you with, I'm predisposed to help. The leaders who have the most loyalty, who people love working for, have all three kinds of empathy.
My Instagram is showcase001, and for a long stretch, extended from 2021, I have been on this quest to basically improve myself. And so one of those was after I quit smoking, my daughters had smelled cigarette smoke on me, so I decided to quit smoking cigarettes. And I think it's been about a year now I haven't smoked a cigarette. And I work out religiously. When I work out with no music. I am paying attention to my muscles because I understand that my brain doesn't like any pain. How could it? Your brain is basically held in your skull. It literally, whenever it feels pain, is designed to tell you to stop. Right? So hence, if you burn yourself, your brain's telling you to move your hand. Similar to when you're working out. So I had to train my mind to focus on feeling my muscles. It's done wonders for me. And I noticed that when I am working out with that level of focus, I can't think about the past. I can't think about the future. I can only think about the present moment. And in doing so, I give myself a break from the narratives of the world. I give myself a break from social media. I give myself a break from the lens of the popular media. I give myself a break from all my daily tasks, all my daily worries. I am just present and in the moment. And in those moments, I can truly understand how long a minute truly is and how precious time truly is and why I do what I do on this podcast. the information I provide on this podcast is outward help. It's helping us process information that we're receiving on a daily basis. And this episode is along those lines as well. I want you guys to try to apply these nuggets of information into your daily lives. Unplug from the digital world to help you concentrate. Try to create your own narratives. Try to drown out the noise from a digital world. Hyper focus on our own tasks, because I think that we are being overloaded with information on a daily basis, and I think it's imperative for us to focus on ourselves and focus on trying to be our best selves. As always, it's always Personal Philadelphia, and I love you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Please, just realize that, you're not promised tomorrow, you really ain't, you're not. Every day you get a chance to wake up, you gotta really be grateful. But most importantly, be grateful and ride this motherfucker till the wheels fall off. Live your life. Ride this motherfucker till the wheels fall off. And when it's time to go, you're gone. Fuck it, you don't owe nobody, fuck it. If you do owe them, you're gone. They can't get it. But man, so now with all that, I get, that gets you down every now and then, because you see it every time you turn on the news and all that, man. It's something that's going to be with us, a long time. That's just for the rest of our lives. And I'm trying to do things that make me feel good. Like I'm watching Cops. Black people, come on, y'all know we on Cops every fucking week. Every motherfucking week, Cops, little black people starring black people. We running through the motherfucker with helicopters chasing us and shit. You know what I mean? Go to commercial, come back, we still running and shit. Running like a motherfucker. Just running in the fucking street, man. But one thing I noticed on Cops, isn't me, but white people get away with a lot of shit when it comes to with the cops. They talk to the cops, they talk back like a motherfucker. They cuss their ass out. What the fuck did you pull me over for? I don't give a shit. I want to know, what did you pull me over for? I didn't fucking do nothing, you asshole. You fucking asshole. You're an asshole. You're an asshole and you're a dick. Yes. Fuck that, man. You don't pull me over for nothing. Yeah, I know I was speeding, you fuck. I'm in a rush. The fuck is wrong with you? You're an asshole.
Trying to stay about the light, about the spotlight, club, and all that kind of stuff, man. Trying to hide, trying to, but it's all fake. Understand what I'm saying? This life, this game. There ain't no love in it. It don't love you back.
I feel you, A. I do, man. But see, man, a nigga like me, man, I love the game. I love the hustle, man. Be feeling like one of them ball-playing niggas, like Bird, Magic, or something. Yeah, a nigga got dough. A nigga could leave the league. But if I leave, the fans still gonna love me, man?
I don't gotta be here. Look, I need your admiration for infinity. Not that this ain't lucrative, but I just need your energy. I got the passion to please, I will not gasp for fatigue. And the way I'm ballin', give me a Grammy or D.O.P. Standing OV, bet these bitches follow me. And I just give them D, I give them D like they is out the league. I seem to beat various other people. The pressures of greatness always comes with critiquing. Newest of sneakers, you consuming the bleachers. Bluest of reefer in my zone like a 2-3 defense. Double MG up, we up, y'all just relax. See all my females show bust, Curtis Enes. Nittany Lion, my pen stated, niggas recited. I'm Michael Jordan Major, you niggas Harold Minor. Pussy be all on me, we too young for romancing. My niggas never block, I think I'm Barry Sanders. Yeah, huh? Hold up. Look, hold up. Fuck these bitch ass niggas for real. Big Page never made it, Len Bias never made it. See, God gave us the talent, but the devil make us famous. My effort is contagious, so check this BOA shit. With this recording, I'm as sick as Jordan before game 6. Jazz talking, I bet I pick and roll with your bitch. You got some paper for me, hit me on the set. Walter Payton Mercedes, sweetness in every ride. All of my pupils slowing, I don't got no lazy eye. Different flows, pockets by the stick and strippers on poles. Zone blocking with these bitches, I'm just picking a hole. Pardon that jargon, but since I'm ballin', they getting salty. They all catching feelings, I should bullet in the car from. Them niggas talking, they like, man, he official. Man, you older with candy. I'm just being Pacific, I'm just being prolific. Right now, I don't need no misses. I got a rack of Trojans, no ring, my lane kiffin'. I'm trying pimp, I'm trying be that cool. All these bitches converse with me off that React juice. Now Jordan 3 my shoe, double MG my crew. When you do it big as minute, you make it seem minute. Ricky Moore flight, Posit Mike, Bibby Blue, foams in the scope. Feeling like Charlotte when they traded Kobe, you know. But I let it go, Rose finna re-up. He got a soap for Kobe and they stuck with Lottie Divock. And we know Lottie D-Dot. I'm converting the people. Shallow bitches gon' Hail Murray when I throw that D-route. Ha! Now keep out, me and my whole team out. And I'm as high as Dion, feet is headed to the house. Nigga.